Undeterred by the apparent confusion, Alf decides it's time to lift the first train. But there is one last issue they need to overcome. With the crane now set in position, the operation should be straightforward. Ideally, the crane driver would like to swing the cars in a smooth arc, straight to the shaft. But there's a problem. 25 meters from the crane and right in the middle of a smooth swing, there's a 3-story building. Using this trajectory would not be the best way to impress the neighbors. So the crane driver must perform a complicated multi-stage maneuver guaranteed to increase the stress on both man and machine. He will lift and swing in 2 distinct stages. First, he will slew the car in a shallow arc to avoid the cafe, and then lower the arm for the final approach to the hole. Hardly a hole-in-one, but certainly par for this obstacle course. Keeping a wary eye on the cafe, the driver begins the first lift.
There it is, it's clear now.
It's the world's first flying train.
Amazing, yeah. She's now coming in between the gap between the building and the lamppost. £1 million is just floating in space. We're bringing it into a very small aperture, which has only got half a metre either side. Quite stressful as I'm looking at it. The next key part is actually engaging the wheels with the track. We have a banksman down there who's actually organising all this.
Keep coming. Keep coming. Look, you go, Jerry, keep coming. Keep coming.
All stop, we're down. It's down on the tracks, perfect. Absolutely spot on. Fantastic job he's just done.
1 down, 19 to go. Over the next few hours, the sky is buzzing with flying trains. But the efforts to raise another flying machine in Manitoba are not running quite so smoothly. They face a difficult problem. $100,000 worth of ROV is wrapped around the spars of the Fokker floatplane they're trying to lift.
We were planning to look at the left side jacking point, and the bite tightened up. We got fouled. It happens.
With the light fading and rough weather forecasted, they need to mount a rescue mission fast or risk losing both the ROV and the aircraft. Waiting at base camp, Annette hopes for the best, but the stress is beginning to show.
This plane, it really does mean a lot to me. We're trying to do all this in a very short time frame, probably 4 days. We have everything else in place, everything.
On the floating pontoon, Mark steers the second ROV towards the plane. Following the umbilical of the trapped ROV down to the aircraft, his camera soon reveals what has happened. In the low visibility, James, the pilot of the other ROV, has managed to tie his umbilical in a knot around the fuselage. Mark will have to work out exactly how the knot was tied. Then James can work backwards to untie himself. This is a slow, nerve-wracking process, especially for those back at base camp waiting for news.
I don't like to see anybody lose their equipment. That's an expensive piece of equipment. You don't like to see anybody lose anything like that at the bottom of the lake. Now let's just hope for the best.
Back on the barge, and Pat thinks he's found a way to free the trapped ROV. The little ROV is ensnared by just one thin piece of the airframe. The second ROV can rip it out of the way. It will damage the plane, but the team have no other choice. Annette is feeling the tension and looks for any positive sign.
Remember the rainbow where we found it? The rainbow came out when we found it? And the rainbow's out right. I hope it's the same meaningful thing.
Roger, we saw the rainbow. It's a double rainbow. It's right over top of us, and the vehicles are free.
Up. Everybody up, everybody up, everybody out.
The vehicles are free! Ow!
We got them up. One's on the surface, the second one we're just getting across right now.
You guys are unbelievably awesome. Over.
Back in London, and after 8 hours of lifting, they've loaded 8 of the 20 trains into the tunnel. So far, they haven't damaged any in their incredibly tight descent through the entrance shaft. But the bad weather on the horizon threatens the whole operation.
Joe, could you just give us a reading on the wind speed, please?
Fluctuating today, anything between 2 and
11 meters per second.
Thank you, mate.
I'm actually taking the wind speed, and at the moment, just standing here in Spur Road, it's nearly 6 miles an hour. But it's not here that's a problem. It's actually up there, because there's a lot more wind up there than down here.
Alf has good reason to be concerned. All the roads converge at the point where the crane sits. Although they won't be channeling any traffic, they will be channeling the wind. The car has 2 long flat sides which will act like a sail. Any gusts will make the train more and more difficult to control. As the wind speed increases, the car will start to swing. If the wind catches the car as it enters the narrow shaft, it could smash into the concrete walls, or even worse, it could become jammed in the entrance. With so many cars needed to be lifted in such a short time frame, this could derail the whole operation. But Alf's team have a secret weapon to combat any sudden gusts. A guiding device known as a pogo stick, which they attach to the front and rear of each carriage.
Go on, buddy. Down you go. Down you go.
As long as wind speeds don't exceed 22 miles per hour, these bars will stop the cars crashing into the sides.
Check quicker, Joe.
There's 2 channels over in the hole over there, and these wheels run up and down on there. They caster up and down. So as the vehicle moves from side to side, swaying, this takes out the sway and just drops it down.
Action up the blank. Keep going down like that. Keep coming down. Keep coming, Jerry.
This is a very bad gust coming now, 6.2. This may stop lifting at the moment. Look at this.
Keep coming, Jerry. Yeah, keep it coming. Keep coming as you are.
Despite the blustery conditions, the pogo sticks keep the move right on track.
Keep coming, mate.
Having rescued the trapped ROV, the team in Manitoba is preparing to go ahead with the lift, but they've just seen some rather disturbing video footage. During the rescue mission, the onboard camera on Mark's ROV discovered that the lift points, vital for lifting the plane, are either corroded or missing.
It's just corroded. That's the starboard aft lift plug. Yeah.
So, Mark, you think that the angle, you wouldn't be able to get it through there?
I can't do it. Oh, bring it down.
Without these lift points, the team need to find alternative places strong enough to support raising the plane. They soon identify an obvious target.
So looking at it from this angle right here, you're talking about this right here, connecting right here.
Yeah.
They think the landing strut attached to the ski may be strong enough.
Yeah. That's the heavy axle.
Do we have that heavy axle free of silt down to that point?
We have. The silt is up to there.
So this is out of the silt. This part is out of the silt.
This part is. But The problem is you got to tie it around. I don't see a rove solution for hooking onto that.
That's a diver job.
Diver can do it in zero viz, and ROV can.
Yeah.
Not with any effectiveness, because you don't know where you're dredging.
It's just bam, bam, bam.
It's bam, bam, bam changes.
Divers are now their only hope of rescuing the plane. Pat puts in a call for volunteers willing to risk diving in such an isolated location. 2 days later, the cavalry arrives. They're a crack team of divers from the Canadian Amphibious Search Team, a group of volunteers more used to pulling dead bodies from lakes than rescuing sunk aircraft. There are only 2 days before the helicopter comes to pick up what they've retrieved, so the divers get straight to work. They have 2 objectives: confirm the engine is completely detached and check the airframe is strong enough to withstand a lift.
Let's go do it.
Even though they are all experienced divers, used to working in low visibility, this is a serious undertaking. At a depth of over 120 feet, they can only afford 20 minutes on the wreck. Any longer, and they're risking the bends. As the nearest decompression chamber is 220 miles away, misjudging their dive time could be fatal.
You know, I'm just reaching out to touch something right there. Now that's really solid stuff right there. Nothing moves around when I shake on it.
Topside blue diver. Gather up red diver and prepare to travel.
Okay, blue diver, red diver, surface.
Right on schedule, the divers return to the surface with some encouraging news.
Diver on the surface. Red diver on the surface, thumbs up.
If I'm standing, so the airplane goes that way and the wings are, that's front, motor's now down here. These corners, right here where there's a whole bunch of things come together, I could give that a pretty good shake.
Yep. Did you get your hand down?
I can get my hand down and touch the actual ski.
Okay, how much mud is how much?
You know, there's not a lot of stuff laying on top of the skis.
The divers are confident they can retrieve the engine and immediately return to the bottom to attach a nylon strap and lift bags. Pat starts to crank the heavy engine off the bottom. But will the flimsy-looking boom be able to cope with all this weight? The signs are not good. The only option is to attach more lift bags.
And we're standing by to dive.
Despite the boom's groans and protests, the team finally get the engine to within a few inches of the surface.
Well, this is the big step one.
They are running out of light as they tow the engine to a nearby island in the hope they can winch it ashore. By the time they erect the boom, it's dark.
Okay, up another 10, going up.
The boom is designed to lift in excess of 1,000 pounds, yet it's clearly struggling to cope with the 650-pound engine. Even with the help of the support boat's crane, they still cannot lift it out of the water. In the end, it's down to good old-fashioned brawn to finally haul the Fokker engine ashore.
Well, there was some serious concern, but hey, it worked. It all worked.
Hamilton propellers. That's the company, eh?
Oh my God.
What do you want to find next?